Alrighty, so I'm gonna do one of these records right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys the modular procedure. So again, first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all of the edges, and I'm going to bevel it. Okay, since it's got this 0.5 fraction, right? What I can do is I can hit 3. I can see what these guys look like smooth, right? And I'm gonna do this guy right here. Right? Let me go to 4. It looks like this record right here is below. So I'm going to move this right about here. Perfect. All right. If it's not round enough, what I'll go to my poly bevel and I'll go 0.75. Right? That's going to make it more rounder. I like that better. Okay? All right. I can even go to 0.8. Anything above that, then you start running into trouble. So I'm happy with this. Well, I'm going to give it a assign existing material, and I'm going to go to the UV textures. And as you guys can see right now, if I hit 6, this guy has no UVs, right? Okay, so let's do that. Let's quickly go right here to UV editing. Again, I'm going to go to my 0 to 1 square. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to delete the UVs just in case, right? And delete the UVs. And I'm going to go to create. I'm going to go to automatic. Yeah, it'd be nice if I selected something. Right? Automatic. Okay. So remember, guys, always be a level 1 when you guys do this. You don't want to mess around with like smooth previews and all that stuff. So we have, as you guys can see, a series of shelves. We have 2 on the one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the front, one on the back, one on the left, and one on the right, right? So I'm going to try to have the least amount of edges as possible. So I'm going to move this guy right here, and then I'm going to move this guy right over here, because it's going to be easier for me to do a massive selection. Okay, so I'm going to select all of my edges right here, and I'm going to ask myself, I do this every single time, where am I going to hide my seams? So I don't want to have a seam here and here. The other ones, there's nothing I can do, right? So at least take advantage of this seam right here and this seam right here, which are going to be this seam here and this seam right here. When I select these edges right here, you guys are going to notice that it's selecting this spine right here, right? So I'm going to go to stitch together, right? And yes, these guys are not fully sewn. So I'm going to select these guys right here and go to sew. Then I'm going to go to the opposite side, and I'm going to go to sew. Perfect. Now, these guys right here, our best bet is to hide the biggest seams. So I'm going to select this seam here, and even though we never see it, I'm going to select this seam right here, okay? Because I want to sew these patches, these shells, UV shells, to the corresponding place. So I'm going to go to stitch together. Perfect, right? The one on the back really doesn't matter, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge right here. You never know. And long and behold, stitch together, we have one LP done, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, this is the top right here. Perfect. So this is the whole concept, ladies and gentlemen, of modular modeling, right? You work in as modules. So I have this bottom shelf group, and then I have the record pile, right? So I'm going to call this one right here LP1 Geo. Okay, this is my LP record, or I can call this one record sleeve, right? If you guys want to get technical, number 1. You guys see that? So I'm going to select this guy right here. I'm going to copy, right? And for this one right here, guys, we're going to use a moving tool that will allow us to move in increments. Okay, so if I duplicate this, if I go Control D, right? And I put my pivot point right here. And remember, guys, I have performed mulling hygiene on these guys right here, right? So this is my record number 2, right? Even though I'm going to delete it in a second. I just want to show you guys what I'm going to do. If I select this guy right here, and I move it up, make sure that the transforms are frozen. Where are you? Right here. Perfect, right? Everything is frozen. So if I was to move this, I'm going to go V, and it's going to go this high right here. This is going to be 0.84. Do you guys see that? So I'm going to copy this number, right? I'm going to delete this guy right here. And I'm going to select this object right here. And I'm going to put the pivot point. I'm going to leave the pivot point right there. I'm going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special. And I'm going to translate this on the X, the Y. So I'm going to type in 0.84, right? And I want to make how many copies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try 6. So I'm going to go numbers to copy 6. I'm going to click on apply. Perfect. There's all my records right here. You guys see that? So now what I'm going to do, some of them I'm going to make smaller, right? I'm going to go to X-ray mode. And you guys can see this guy right here is smaller. And this guy right here will be smaller, right? So I'm going to go R for scale. And I'm going to scale these guys in all directions except for the Y, like this. I'm going to press that green button right here. And notice that, guys, that is scaling our LPs in a specific direction. I'm going to make this one slightly different, right? A little bit more scaled down. Remember, guys, that if you're moving these guys right here and the movement is very rough, very snappy, all you guys got to do is make your 3D gizmo bigger by hitting plus sign, okay? All right, so I'm done with this right here. And I'm going to scale this guy down a little bit more. Where's the little square? Looks like I've lost my square. Oh, there it is. Right about there, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this one right here, and I'm going to scale this one out a little bit. I'm really close. Okay. So I'm going to scale this guy out. And again, if you guys make your 3D gizmo bigger, and I repeat the operation with M, you can get very, very fine scales. This guy right here, I'm going to scale this one. Again, scale it on the little triangle right here, then zoom in, make your gizmo bigger, and with the middle mouse button, you can make this big and small. So I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. This is good. This one right here, I'm going to make it smaller, right? Like this. Oh, that one does not need to be exist. I'm going to delete it. And there you have it, okay? What I'm going to do next, guys, is I'm going to do a random rotation. It's hard to see with my texture, so I'm going to click on this button right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go E for rotate. And I'm going to rotate these guys like so. I'm going to rotate this guy in this direction. It's going to be a random rotation. This guy, I'm going to rotate this one like so. And then this guy is going to be rotated like this. And then this guy on the opposite direction. Right? Just some random rotation so that things don't look like they were neatly put in there. Okay? All right. And then I'm going to go to my front view right here, Q. And I'm going to make sure that none of these LPs right here are going through the wall. So I'm going to move them in this direction like this. Okay? And if you hit 3 for smooth preview, you guys are going to notice that you get this really nice random shape of LPs. You do 1, you create the UVs for 1, and nobody gets hurt. Cool? Super, super simple thing to do. Modular modeling is when you do 1 and then you repeat it. All right, fantastic. Let me save this right here. And I'm going to stop the recording.